Dear students, welcome in science class. Class 8, Unit 16, Living Beings. Topics: bacteria, virus, and fungi. Modification of parts of plant. Modification of root. Modification of stem. Modification of leaf. Seed. Structure of seed. Function of seed. Dispersal of seed. Life cycle of flowering plant. Flower. Pollination and fertilization. Microscopic organism. The organism which cannot be seen with our naked eye, but it can be seen with the help of microscope, is called microscopic organism. Example: bacteria, virus, amoeba. Bacteria. Bacteria is prokaryotic unicellular organism. Its structure is simple, which lacks nucleus and contains DNA. Some bacteria are useful, but some causes different disease. Example: coccus, bacillus, helical. Virus. The microscopic organism which completely depend on living organism and cannot live in external environment is called virus. It is called obligatory parasite. Fungi. The plant without chlorophyll is fungi. It cannot make its food itself. It absorbs food from dead and decayed materials. Example: yeast, mushroom. Modification of different parts of plant. The change in structure of parts of plants like root, stem, and leaves is called modification of plant. Parts of plant are modified for these reasons: for storage of food, for respiration, to control transpiration, for photosynthesis. Modification of root. Root of plant is modified for these reasons: for storage of food, for mechanical support, for vital functions. For storage of food. Roots are modified to store food. Example: radish, carrot, turnip, sweet potato. For mechanical support. Root arises from the stem to support the plant. Example: banyan tree, bamboo, people. For vital functions. Root of plant growing on marshy place comes out of the ground to help in respiration. Example: hydrilla, water hyacinth. Modification of stem. Stems of plant are modified for these reasons: for storage of food, for vegetative propagation, for photosynthesis, for storage of food. Stems are modified to store food. Example: potato, ginger, onion, garlic. For vegetative propagation. Stem produces new plant. Example: grasses which run on ground. For photosynthesis. Stem which is green, perform photosynthesis. Example, aloe vera, cactus. Modification of leaf. Leaf prepares food for the plant. Leaves are modified for these reasons: for mechanical support, for reducing transpiration, for trapping insects, for mechanical support. Leaves are modified into tendrils. Example, pea plant, cucumber, pumpkin. For reducing transpiration. Leaves modify to thorns to reduce transpiration. Example, aloe vera, cactus. For trapping insect. Leaves are modified into bladder to trap insect. Example, Venus flytrap, pitcher plant. Seed. The fully developed fertilized ovules is called seed. Seed are of two types: monocotyledon seed the seed with only one cotyledon is called monocotyledon. Endosperm is found. Example, paddy, maize, wheat. Dicotyledon seed. The seed with two cotyledons is called dicotyledon. Example, pea, gram, pumpkin, bean. A white scare-like part present at the depressed part of seed is called hilum. Seed is attached to a fruit through this part. A small pore near the hilum is called micropyle. Embryo. The early stage of plant developed in seed is called embryo. Embryo consists plumule and radicle. Plumule is the future stem. Radicle is the future root. Endosperm and cotyledon supplies food for embryo during development of new plant. Water enters inside the seed through micropyle during its germination. Function of seed. Germination of new plant. It supplies food for new plant. It protects embryo of plant. Dispersal of seed. The scattering of seed from one place to another is called dispersal of seed. Dispersal of seed takes place by air, by water, by insect, by human and animals. Germination of seed. The development of seed into seedlings during favorable conditions of air, water and temperature is called seed germination. Experiment. A beaker is taken with 3 bean seed tied at level A, B and C. The water is allowed to fill up to B level and kept for some days. After some days, the seed A decays due to excess water. Seed C remains as it is due to lacking of water. Seed B germinates. The germination of seed B is due to the presence of required amount of water, air and temperature. Life cycle of flowering plant. Flower. The reproductive part of the plant is called flower. It has 4 parts: calyx, corolla, endoecium and gynoecium. Calyx. Calyx is the outermost covering of a flower. It is formed by a group of sepals. It is generally green in color. It protects the flower in bud stage. Corolla. Corolla is the colored part of flower. It is formed by group of petals. It is present inside calyx. It has aromatic fluid producing glands. It attracts the insects towards it. Endoecium. The male reproductive part of flower is called endoecium. It is made up of stamens. Stamen consists filament and anther. Anther produces pollen grains. Gynoecium. The female reproductive part of flower is called gynoecium. It is made up of carpels. Carpel consists stigma, style, and ovary. Ovary develops ovules into seed. Pollination. The transfer of pollen grains from anther of stamen to stigma of carpel is called pollination. Pollination are of two types: self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination. The pollination taking place in same flower is called self-pollination. Cross-pollination. The pollination taking place in different flowers is called cross-pollination. Fertilization. The fusion of male gamete and female gamete to form zygote is called fertilization. The pollen grain produces pollen tube from stigma of carpel. The pollen tube penetrates the ovule and fertilization takes place. Zygote develops to embryo. Embryo develops into seed.